If you shop at Costco, your future trips to the warehouse might feel a little different. Jill Kuramoto breaks down some of the changes that are coming and how that will impact your shopping experience.
Costco isn't just a store, it's a world of its own. The moment you walk in, those oversized carts practically invite you to fill them up. The endless aisles seem to whisper promises of savings that are simply too good to pass up. But what if I told you that behind the bright lights and bargain signs, Costco has a few secrets they'd rather you not notice? Because the truth is, Costco doesn't just sell groceries or bulk paper towels, they sell an experience designed to make you spend more than you planned. And here's the clever part, some of their biggest tricks are hiding in plain sight. From price tags with secret codes that reveal deals most shoppers overlook, to products that are intentionally sold at a loss just to lure you deeper into the store. Even that famous $1.50 hot dog and soda combo, unchanged since 1985, has a story behind it that will make you look at your next food court lunch in a whole new light. Over the next few minutes, we'll peel back the curtain on Costco's strategies, the hidden psychology, the tricks of placement, and the subtle nudges that keep millions of people, perhaps even you, coming back again and again. Some of these secrets will save you money, others will make you shake your head at how easily even the sharpest shopper can be led astray. So before your next trip to Costco, stay with me, because in just a few moments, I'll reveal the one Costco secret so powerful it alone could change the way you shop there forever. Costco has built its reputation on offering bargains that feel almost too good to be true. But what most shoppers do not realize is that the real secrets are not hidden in flyers or weekly promotions. They are tucked quietly into the price tags themselves. Those little white signs are not just telling you what something costs today. They are part of a system, a secret language that can guide you toward the smartest purchases in the store. Once you learn how to read it, you will never again second guess whether to buy or wait. Let's start with the price ending in 97 cents. If you see that number at the end of the tag, it is Costco's way of saying this product is on clearance. It has been marked down from its original price, sometimes by quite a bit, and the store is ready to move it out. Many experienced Costco shoppers swear by these 97-cent items, calling them hidden treasures. For seniors who may be living on a fixed income, these markdowns can feel like little victories, money saved on quality products that others walk right past without even noticing. Now, what if you come across a tag that ends in 49 cents, or exactly on the dollar? That is what insiders call a manager's special markdown. It is not a nationwide sale or something you will see splashed across a Costco ad. Instead, it is a decision made by your local warehouse to lower the price, often to clear shelf space or push out a particular batch of stock. That means these deals are unique to your store and may not even exist at another Costco a few miles away. If you find one, you are essentially getting a personalized discount that most members will never know about. And then there is the most valuable clue of all, the tiny asterisk in the top right-hand corner of the sign. To most people, it looks like nothing, just a small star that could easily be ignored. But for those who know, that little mark is practically shouting, last chance. It means the store will not be bringing that item back. It might be seasonal, like holiday decorations or summer patio sets, or it might be discontinued completely. Either way, the message is clear. If you like it, buy it now. Seniors especially can appreciate this knowledge because it prevents the frustration of returning later only to find that favorite product gone forever. These codes are not new either. Costco has used them for decades, and regulars quietly rely on them the way others rely on coupons. The difference is that you do not need to clip anything, sign up for emails, or keep track of expiration dates. All you need is your own watchful eye. Think of it as the store giving you a secret handshake every time you walk in, if you are paying attention. So the next time you are walking through those wide aisles, do not just glance at the big bold numbers. Take a closer look. That 97-cent clearance price could mean you are saving more than you realize. That 49-cent ending might be your local manager giving you an extra break. And that tiny asterisk, it could be your last chance to take home something you love. These little clues may seem simple, but once you understand them, you will have the confidence to shop smarter than almost anyone else in the store. Because Costco may be designed to get you to spend more, but with this knowledge in your pocket, you will finally be the one outsmarting the store. One of the biggest temptations at Costco is the sheer size of everything. When you see a box holding 24 granola bars or a jug of olive oil that looks like it could stock a restaurant, it is easy to believe you are automatically saving money. After all, buying in bulk has always been presented as the smart thing to do. But here is where Costco's magic can trip people up. Bigger does not always mean cheaper. Research shows that nearly 7 out of 10 shoppers assume bulk automatically equals savings. It feels natural to think that way. For many of us, growing up meant hearing that if you bought more, you got a better deal. Whether it was a case of canned goods or a family pack of meat at the butcher, that old habit still runs deep. Yet in Costco's giant aisles, that assumption can quietly drain your wallet. Take the olive oil example. On the shelf, you might see a towering bottle that looks impressive and convenient. But if you pause for a moment and calculate the cost per ounce, you may find that the smaller bottle at your neighborhood grocery store, especially when it is on sale, actually costs less. The same story can be told with snack packs, cereal boxes, even beverages. What feels like a bargain at first glance can turn into what I like to call an illusion deal. This becomes especially important for seniors on fixed incomes, because every dollar matters. Imagine thinking you are stretching your money further, only to find out later that you actually paid more. That is not savings. It is a clever trick that plays on our long-held belief that bulk is always better. And let us not forget the issue of waste. Oversized packages images sound wonderful until you bring them home. That enormous container of salad greens may look healthy and inviting, but how often does it turn slimy before you get halfway through? Or those big cartons of milk, perfect for a large family, but for a couple or a single person, they may expire before you use them. In the end, spoiled food is not a deal at all. It is money straight into the trash. So how can you protect yourself? The answer is simple, but powerful. Slow down and check the unit price. Every tag at Costco lists the cost per ounce, per pound, or per item. That is the real number that tells you whether you are saving or overspending. If the bulk version is truly cheaper, you will see it immediately. If it is not, you can leave it on the shelf and know you made the smarter choice. For seniors who have learned the value of careful spending over a lifetime, this habit becomes a tool of empowerment. It means you are not swayed by the shiny packaging or the massive size. Instead, you are shopping with wisdom, recognizing that bigger is sometimes just bigger, not better. So the next time you find yourself staring at a jumbo pack, remember this: Costco is built on the belief that most people will assume more is always cheaper, but you know better now. And by looking past the size and straight at the value, you can make sure every dollar you spend is working for you, not against you. Now we come to perhaps the most famous item in all of Costco, the rotisserie chicken. For many members, it is the crown jewel of the store, and for good reason. The price tag has stayed at $4.99 for well over a decade, even though the cost of chicken itself has risen by nearly 1/3 in that time. That kind of price stability is unheard of in today's economy. But the story behind this chicken is not as simple as it looks. The average Costco rotisserie chicken weighs about 3 pounds after cooking, noticeably larger than the birds sold at many grocery stores, which usually come in closer to 2 pounds. At first glance, this feels like an incredible bargain. A bigger chicken for less money from a brand you trust. It seems too good to pass up. And in truth, for many families and especially seniors looking for affordable, ready-to-eat meals, it is one of the best deals around. Here's the surprising part: Costco actually loses money on every single chicken they sell. Industry experts estimate the company sacrifices between $30 and $40 million every year just to keep that price locked at $4.99. In other words, Costco is willing to pay for your dinner, and they do this very deliberately, because the chicken is not just food, it is a strategy. Think about where that warm, fragrant chicken is located. It is never near the entrance. It is always at the very back of the warehouse. That is no accident. To get your chicken, you have to walk past aisle after aisle of products: giant tubs of cashews, stacks of electronics, 60-pack bundles of socks, towers of paper towels. By the time you finally reach the chicken counter, the smell alone has stirred your appetite. And more often than not, your oversized cart has filled with things you never even planned to buy. Retail experts call the chicken a loss leader. It is bait, pure and simple. Costco does not care if they lose millions on it, because shoppers who come in just for the chicken end up spending on average an extra $25 on impulse purchases before they leave. In other words, that $4.99 chicken is not just dinner, it is the cheese in a maze. And we are the mice. And Costco knows exactly how to guide us. For seniors especially, the chicken represents a double-edged sword. On one hand, it truly is a great value for a hot, ready meal that can stretch into multiple servings. On the other, the trip to get it is designed to tempt you into buying things you may not need. The key is awareness. If you head to Costco for the chicken, go in with a plan. Enjoy the bargain, savor the convenience, but remember, the store's real profit lies in everything else you put in your cart on the way there. So the next time you bring home that golden, juicy rotisserie chicken, take a moment to appreciate it. Not only is it dinner, it is also one of the cleverest pieces of retail strategy in the modern shopping world. One of the first things you notice at Costco is the size of everything. Towers of paper towels, sacks of coffee beans big enough to keep an office buzzing for a year, and spice jars so large they could season a restaurant. The message is clear: buy more, save more. And in many cases, that message is true. But in other cases, bulk buying is not just a waste of money. It can quietly cost you more than you think. Let's start with where bulk does make sense. Household staples such as toilet paper, laundry detergent, and coffee beans are excellent candidates. They do not spoil, they last a long time, and the cost per unit is often 20 to 40% lower than what you would pay at a traditional grocery store. For seniors especially, having these items stocked away can bring peace of mind. You know you will not run out, and you know you are paying less in the long run. But then there is the other side of the story: perishables. Food waste is one of the biggest hidden costs in American households. In fact, families throw away nearly 40% of their food every year, adding up to about $3,000 lost annually. When you add Costco-sized portions into the mix, the risk of waste only increases. That giant clamshell of salad greens looks like a healthy choice, but it often turns slimy in the fridge before you get halfway through. The same goes for oversized packs of milk, bread, or fresh produce. What begins as a deal ends as money tossed into the garbage bin. Spices are another trap. That massive jar of paprika might look like a bargain, but most spices lose their flavor after about 6 months. Unless you plan to season meals for a whole neighborhood, you are essentially paying for fancy colored powder that will not taste like much by the time you finish it. So how do you know when bulk buying is truly worth it? The rule is simple: if you cannot eat it, freeze it, or share it before it goes bad, it is not a deal. It is expensive waste. Families with children or larger households may power through bulk portions quickly, but for many seniors, smaller quantities often make more sense, even if the per-unit price looks slightly higher. The real savings come from buying what you will actually use. Remember, Costco is built on the idea that bigger is better, but you know better now. Shopping smart means choosing bulk only when it fits your lifestyle, not when the store tempts you with size alone. If you have ever struggled with bulk purchases spoiling before you could finish them, here's your challenge. On your next Costco trip, pick just one bulk item you know you will use fully and skip one that you are unsure about. Then come back and tell us in the comments which decision saved you the most money. Your story might just help another shopper avoid waste. If Costco has one ace up its sleeve, it is the Kirkland Signature brand. At first glance, it may look like any other store brand, the kind you would expect to be cheaper but not necessarily better. Yet Kirkland has quietly built a reputation that surprises even the most loyal name brand shoppers. The secret? Many Kirkland products are made by the very same manufacturers behind the premium brands you already trust. Take the Kirkland batteries. Open one up though, please do not actually try this at home. And inside you would find that they are produced by Duracell, one of the most respected battery makers in the world. Or consider Kirkland's vodka, which comes from the very same French distillery that produces Grey Goose, a brand that sells for far more. Even the diapers under the Kirkland name are manufactured in the same factories that make Huggies, a brand that parents have relied on for decades. Because Costco does not spend millions on flashy advertising campaigns or celebrity endorsements, the savings are passed directly to you. On average, Kirkland products cost 15 to 30% less than their name brand counterparts. Yet time and again, Consumer Reports has ranked many of them among the top performers in blind tests. For seniors who appreciate real value over marketing hype, this is one of the smartest ways to stretch a budget without sacrificing quality. But, and there is always a but, not every Kirkland item is a winner. The paper towels, for example, do not absorb as well as Bounty. Their laundry detergent struggles with tough stains compared to Tide. The light tuna has a texture some describe as mushy, which can make it feel more like baby food than a hearty meal. And even the bacon, a favorite in many households, has been criticized for cooking unevenly and shrinking more than other brands. Perhaps the most divisive of all is Kirkland's toilet paper. It is one of Costco's best sellers with over 1 million packages sold, yet opinions could not be more split. Many members swear by it, saying the value cannot be beaten, but online forums are filled with complaints, with one reviewer famously describing it as feeling like low-grit sandpaper. When it comes to personal comfort, saving a few dollars may not always be worth it. This is where the wisdom of experience comes in. For seniors especially who have seen plenty of too-good-to-be-true deals over the years, the key is to be selective. Some Kirkland products truly are outstanding bargains that match or even outperform the big brands. Others fall short. The real secret to saving money with Kirkland is knowing which products deserve your trust and which ones should be left on the shelf. So the next time you see that familiar black and red Kirkland label, do not dismiss it as just another generic brand. Instead, look at it as Costco's secret weapon. Sometimes brilliant, sometimes flawed, but always worth a closer look. Because when you choose carefully, Kirkland can stretch your dollar further than almost anything else in the store. If there is one tradition that makes Costco truly unique, it is the free samples. On any given weekend, the store feels like it transforms into a moving buffet. You might start with a tiny cup of soup, then move on to a bite of sausage, maybe a cracker topped with cheese, and if you are lucky, a square of cheesecake to finish it off. Many members jokingly call it the Costco lunch, and some even admit to planning their shopping trips around the sample stations. But while those little bites feel like generosity, there is a far more powerful force at work. Psychologists call it the reciprocity principle. The idea is simple. When someone gives you something for free, even a tiny taste, your brain feels an urge to give something back. In a store like Costco, that usually means dropping the product or something nearby into your cart. The numbers prove just how effective this strategy is. Studies show that free samples increase sales of the sampled item by about 30%. For new products, that jump can be as high as 200%. In other words, offering you a free bite of ravioli or a sip of protein shake is not just hospitality. It is one of the most profitable marketing techniques the store uses. And here is the fascinating part: you do not even have to like the sample for it to work. Simply accepting it is enough to make you more likely to buy. For seniors especially, who have spent a lifetime making careful choices about where their money goes, this is a gentle reminder: free is never truly free. The next time you take a sample, pause for a moment before tossing the product into your cart. Ask yourself, do I really want this? Or do I simply feel a little nudge because someone handed it to me with a smile? But there is more to samples than just psychology. Costco also uses them for what experts call traffic control. Those little stations create natural slowdowns in the aisles, keeping shoppers lingering longer and increasing their chances of noticing nearby items. It is a clever way of making sure you spend more time surrounded by things you never intended to buy. The longer you stay in the store, the more money you are likely to spend. Of course, none of this takes away from the enjoyment of it. For many members, the samples are part of the fun. The warm interactions with employees, the chance to taste something new, the little surprise around the corner. Costco invests millions of dollars each year to keep this program running, hiring specialized vendors who follow strict food safety protocols and carefully rehearse presentations presentations. Also, you feel comfortable accepting that tiny cup and perhaps just a little more willing to buy. So the next time you enjoy a free taste at Costco, remember this: it is not just a snack. It is a carefully designed invitation to spend more money. But if you understand the psychology, you can still enjoy the experience without falling into the trap. After all, there is nothing wrong with a free bite of cheesecake, so long as you know that the real feast Costco is serving is the art of persuasion. If there is one thing that truly sets Costco apart from almost every other retailer, it is their return policy. For decades, the company has stood by a remarkably simple promise: if you are not satisfied, bring it back, no questions asked. And they mean it. Most stores give you 30 days, maybe 90, and almost always require a receipt. At Costco, the rules are far more generous. Members have been able to return items not just weeks later, but years later, and still receive a full refund. There are stories of people bringing back clothing they wore until it frayed, appliances that had long since gone out of style, and even open food items that did not meet expectations. One warehouse manager once refunded a 15-year-old pressure cooker. No hesitation, no judgment. It might sound unbelievable, but Costco sees it differently. They process more than $5 billion in returns each year, about 1% of their total sales, and they treat this not as a loss, but as an investment. Because for them, it is not about the one item going back on the shelf, it is about the customer trust that comes from knowing you will never be stuck with a bad purchase. Surveys show that 85% of members cite the return policy as one of the top reasons they renew their membership every year. For seniors, that peace of mind is invaluable. It means that even if a bulk purchase turns out to be too much, or if a new product does not meet your expectations, you will never be left regretting your decision. Of course, there are a few exceptions. Electronics have a 90-day window. Diamonds require original paperwork. Alcohol and tobacco face legal restrictions, and special order items are considered final sale. These limits are understandable, but compared to the industry standard, they are still far more forgiving. Now, Costco does keep an eye out for abuse. Some members have tested the limits by returning half-eaten cakes, dead Christmas trees in January, or even empty wine bottles, claiming they were unsatisfactory. One person even tried to return a sofa after 8 years because it had lost its bounce. Most of these returns were still accepted, but Costco quietly tracks patterns, and if someone makes a habit of exploiting the system, their membership can eventually be revoked. For the vast majority of honest members, however, the policy is nothing short of extraordinary. And there is another layer of convenience. You do not need to keep stacks of old receipts. Every purchase you make is tied to your membership card. That means the store can look up your transaction history instantly, whether you bought the item last month or years ago. For seniors who value simplicity, this makes returns effortless. In the end, Costco's return policy is not just about refunds. It is about loyalty. It reassures members that every purchase is risk-free, and that reassurance keeps millions of people walking back through those big warehouse doors year after year, knowing that Costco will always stand behind what it sells. If there is one symbol of Costco's devotion to its members, it is not the towering shelves of bulk products or even the rotisserie chicken. It is the humble hot dog and soda combo at the food court. Since the year 1985, the price has remained exactly $1.50. Think about that for a moment. Nearly 40 years have passed. The cost of living has soared, inflation has eroded the buying power of every dollar, and yet that hot dog meal has never budged in price. Had the price risen with inflation, the combo would now cost well over $4. But Costco made a promise to its members and to itself that the price would stay the same no matter what. The story has become retail legend. Years ago, when executives floated the idea of raising the price, one of Costco's leaders shot it down immediately, saying in effect, "If you raise the price of the hot dog, I will end you." It may sound dramatic, but it reflects how sacred this little meal has become in Costco culture. Now, let's look at what you are really getting. Each combo includes a quarter-pound all-beef hot dog, a 20-ounce soda, and free refills, all for less than the cost of a bus ticket. Costco sells more than 100 million of these meals every year, which is more than 4 times the number of hot dogs sold across all Major League Baseball stadiums combined in a typical season. That is not just a food court snack, that is an institution. But just like the chicken, the hot dog is not really about profit. In fact, Costco makes virtually no money on the combo at all. Instead, it serves a psychological purpose. Marketers call it a closing impression. Here's how it works. You may have just spent several $100s inside the warehouse on everything from bulk groceries to electronics. But as you leave, you enjoy a hot dog and soda for only $1.50. Your brain records the entire shopping trip as a satisfying, affordable experience, even if your receipt tells a different story. For seniors, this combo can be more than just a snack. It represents value you can count on, no matter how unpredictable prices become elsewhere. And there is something comforting about knowing that a company is willing to hold firm on a promise for nearly 4 decades, even when it costs them millions in lost profits. To make it possible, Costco even built its own hot dog factories in Los Angeles and Chicago, cutting out suppliers and keeping production costs under control. That is how seriously they take this little meal. Many members joke that the hot dog and soda alone are worth the annual membership fee. And in a way, they are right. If you were to eat just one combo every week for a year, you would save enough compared to typical fast food prices to cover your membership entirely. Loyalty built one hot dog at a time. It may sound funny, but it is exactly what has kept this tradition alive. So the next time you sit at that simple food court table with a hot dog in one hand and a soda in the other, remember you are not just eating lunch. You are participating in one of the longest-running bargains in modern retail history. Beyond the giant aisles and the food court, there is there's another reason millions of members renew their Costco cards year after year: the gas stations. With more than 500 locations across the country, Costco has quietly become one of the largest fuel retailers in America. Every year, they pump nearly 4 billion gallons of gasoline. That is enough to fill a line of tanker trucks stretching from New York to Los Angeles and back again. The reason people flock to Costco gas is simple: savings. On average, Costco's prices are 20 to 40 cents cheaper per gallon than most competitors. For a 15-gallon fill-up, that means you save $3 to $6 every time you visit the pump. Over the course of a year, if you refuel once a week, that adds up to somewhere between $100 and $300 in savings. For many members, that is more than enough to cover the cost of the basic membership. And the best part? Costco gas is not just cheaper, it is top quality. Every drop is top-tier certified, which means it meets higher standards than what is legally required. In plain terms, it helps keep engines running cleaner and lasting longer. For seniors who want their cars to stay reliable without costly repairs, that little extra quality can make a big difference over time. So how does Costco manage to sell gas for so much less? The answer is the same as with their rotisserie chicken and hot dog combo: razor-thin margins. While most gas stations aim for a profit margin of 15 to 20 cents per gallon, Costco often operates at 7 to 10 cents or even less. In some cases, they barely break even. Why? Because the fuel is not treated as a profit center. It is treated as a member benefit. Just like the chicken, the cheap gas draws you in, and once you are there, you are likely to step inside the warehouse and spend far more than the few dollars you saved at the pump. Of course, there are trade-offs. If you have ever driven past a Costco station on a Saturday morning, you know the lines can be long. At peak times, the wait can stretch to 15 or 20 minutes, especially before holidays. Many members joke that you practically need to pack a lunch while waiting in line, only to find yourself eating it again while standing in the food court afterward. Some even treat the lines as a kind of calendar system. If you can drive straight up to a pump without waiting, it must either be 3 o'clock in the morning or the end of the world has arrived. But Costco has thought of convenience too. Their pumps are designed with extra long hoses that can reach either side of your car, so you do not have to line up perfectly. It may seem like a small detail, but it keeps the lines moving and prevents drivers from having to circle around awkwardly. In the end, Costco Gas is another example of how the company builds loyalty by giving members more value than they expect. Yes, the lines can be frustrating, but the savings add up quickly. And just like the chicken and the hot dog, the real goal is not profit at the pump. It is keeping you coming back week after week, year after year. By now we have covered chickens, hot dogs, price codes, and even gasoline. But there is one last Costco secret that many people overlook: the shop card. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a gift card. Yet for non-members, it is a golden ticket. Here is how it works. Costco shop cards can be loaded with as little as $25 or as much as $2,000, and they never expire. They work just like cash inside the warehouse, online, at the food court, at the gas pumps, and even at the pharmacy. And here is the loophole: you do not need to be a member to use one. That means someone who does not have a Costco membership can walk into the store, swipe a shop card, and enjoy all the benefits of bulk shopping without paying the annual fee. Of course, Costco has rules to protect its business model. Only members can purchase or reload these cards, and they require membership verification at the time of purchase. But many clever shoppers have found a workaround by asking a friend or family member with a membership to buy the card for them. It is technically bending the rules, but Costco tends to look the other way. Why? Because more often than not, those trial runs turn into full memberships. People come for the convenience of the card and end up staying for the long-term savings. For seniors, this can be a practical way to share Costco with children, grandchildren, or friends who are curious but not ready to commit. It is also a wonderful gift. Imagine giving someone a card that not only buys groceries, but also covers a gas fill-up, a meal at the food court, or even a bottle of wine. And unlike some store gift cards, Costco's do not expire, so you can tuck them away and use them whenever you like. Another perk? Shop cards work internationally. A card purchased in the United States can be used at Costco locations in Canada, Mexico, the United Kingdom, and even Japan. For seniors who travel or have family abroad, this makes the card even more versatile. But the real takeaway is this: the shop card shows just how carefully Costco balances generosity with strategy. On one hand, it allows non-members to experience the store without the annual fee. On the other, it quietly nudges them toward joining full-time. Once again, it is Costco's way of playing the long game, investing in loyalty that will pay off for years to come. So whether you see it as a gift, a loophole, or simply a handy way to shop, the Costco shop card is yet another reminder that in this store, value is never just about the price. It is about the experience, the psychology, and the subtle ways Costco keeps drawing people back. As we have seen, Costco is far more than a warehouse filled with bulk products. It is a carefully crafted experience designed to make you feel like you are saving money while gently guiding you to spend more than you intended. From the secret codes on the price tags, to the irresistible pull of the rotisserie chicken, to the psychology of free samples and the loyalty built around a $1.50 hot dog, every detail serves a purpose. For seniors especially, Costco can be both a blessing and a challenge. On one hand, the savings are real. The gas discounts, the Kirkland products, the household staples bought in bulk, all of these can stretch your budget further. On the other hand, the temptations are everywhere, and without awareness, you can find yourself overspending or even wasting food you never managed to finish. The good news is that now you know the secrets. You understand the hidden signals, the clever placement of products, and the long-term strategies that Costco uses to build loyalty. With that knowledge, you can walk into the store prepared, not just to shop, but to shop smart. And if you enjoyed uncovering these secrets, this, I invite you to take the next step. Look through our playlist, where you will find more videos just like this one. Deep dives into the tricks, strategies, and hidden truths behind the stores and brands you use every day. Each video is designed to help you keep more money in your pocket, avoid costly mistakes, and shop with confidence. So the next time you roll that oversized cart down the wide aisles of Costco, remember this: you are not just a shopper, you are a smart shopper, and that makes all the difference.